All right, what's up, guys and girls? I am Is There Known Else? I am also known as Else, Reno, Frank, asshole, douchebag, bunch of them, whatever. I am here today. I haven't posted a video in a while. Wanted to just kind of talk about a bunch of things. So if you guys are interested in any of these, I'll provide a timeline of when I'm discussing them in this video. But number one, I wanted to discuss the Asylum Sanctorium bans. Number two, I want to discuss my impressions of Somerset, what I think so far. Number three, I want to discuss where I am with my builds, where I'm going, why I haven't been posting content lately, and then I'll wrap it all up. So let's dive into it. First of all, as most of you guys know, this last week there were some Asylum Sanctorium bans. People decided to exploit a glitch, and it became pretty rampant. People were commenting in area chats to try and sell glitches for this skin. And, you know, a lot of comments that I saw in discussions on this, people were like, well, there's so many people doing it, there's no way that they can ban that many people. Well, they did. I think it's the right choice. I commented on this the last time it happened, and at that point in time, I didn't think it was the right choice at the time when that one happened, because they had never really drawn a hard line at exploiting for skins. And I thought with their past history, going that hard of a stance was too firm for people that have been in the game for so long. But with that being said, I also said that if that's what they're going to do, they have to do it from now on. And this is them doing that from, you know, once again, they're doing the exact same thing. And I think that's what they have to do. You know, there's a good portion of the community that doesn't exist because they believe that endgame content for ESO is not super competitive. And I think they're very legitimate arguments for that. And I think if ZeniMax wants to go to a competitive endgame situation for PvE, PvP, battlegrounds, duels, whatever, this is the sort of thing that they have to do. They have to make the game competitive. They have to eliminate glitchers and exploiters so that people that have these sorts of things earned them. And yeah, so I think this is the right way to go. They have a long ways to go, and hopefully if they keep dropping the hammer like this, less and less people are going to do it. And it sucks that this many people, you know, got banned. It sucks that this many people got suspended, but this is what they're going to do. And so if you're watching this and you think, and somebody comes to you and says, hey, you know, I know how to get all the new Somerset jewelry. You just have to go around this mountain or, you know, jump into this wall 5 times. Don't do it. It's not, if you don't, if you're willing to risk a permaban, you know, feel free, but just know that doing those sorts of things, according to ZeniMax, is permaban worthy. So don't do it. That's all I have to say about that. Number two, the other thing I want to talk about was basically Somerset as a whole. I think in general, this is the patch I am most excited about. Out of all the patches I've discussed on YouTube, this is the most excited I am about a DLC since Imperial City came out. And Imperial City was awesome. I just think I've talked a lot about build diversity. I've talked a lot about variety. And doing what they did with jewelry, allowing you to retrade jewelry, allowing you to craft new jewelry, allowing you to do all these things, opens up so many different possibilities for different builds. And then when you combine that with two-handed weapons being 2 traits, that opens up another variety of builds. And then when you combine that with the Psijic passive skill line, with new Psijic skills, there's just a lot of new content, a lot of new creative things are going to come out because of this. And, you know, some people are going to be mad, and some people are going to go, oh, wow, the game's changed, the game's not what it used to be, the game's not this. I understand that. But at the same time, like, you have to come out with new, creative, interesting content as a game that's had this kind of stay power. And, you know, that's what they're doing. And I think most of these changes are good. I think some people might get a little overwhelmed by it. I think there's going to be a learning curve for a lot of us. And what a lot of us think is strong now might not necessarily be strong in 3 months from now when we know more. So very exciting for the variety. Really excited about Battlegrounds changes, open world changes. I think it's going to be a fun patch, and so I've been gearing up for that. The reason I haven't been around a whole lot is basically because, I don't want to, as soon as I saw that two-handed weapons are 2 traits and then the jewelry crafting came out, I was like, well, all my builds are essentially obsolete now. There's going to be so many things to work on. I have to work on this for not only for my own builds, but to help you guys out. Like that's the reason I created my YouTube channel, was to post builds that I think are powerful that may or may not be the meta. My goal is to find strong builds and find builds you can 1vx with, find builds that are fun to play, that aren't what everybody else is running. And so I want to get that content out there for you guys. And so I've been farming. I've been farming gear for my Sork. I've been farming gear for my Nightblade that I know I want to try. So that way, once the patch rolls or drops, I'm ready to go. I'll do the Sijic main quest line. I'll upgrade my jewelry crafting, and I'll start pumping out builds for you guys, because there's going to be a lot to do. When you have one of every character, you got a lot of shit to work on. So I'm very excited about it. But that's what I've been doing. That's why I haven't really been around. That's it. So on top of that, want to discuss a little bit more about Somerset in general. But personally, after seeing it, the only gripe that I have about Somerset is an armor set, and that's Slodes. I don't like the idea of unblockable oblivion damage. I don't think it should exist. They had an oblivion enchant that hit really hard, and they had to nerf it to shit because it was bullshit. Shield breaker is still bullshit, and now they came out with a proc set that is shield breaker, and it drives me, it makes me upset that set exists. And it's not that I think it's going to be super overpowered and just going to carry a bunch of people, but the problem with proc sets in general, and the reason I made my Magic and Nightblade proc set build, is you can have all these proc sets that don't crit, but the problem with proc sets is stacking competitive proc sets that work well with each other to where they can all go off at the same time. And that's the issue. And so when you have ZeniMax trying to come out with new, creative, interesting content for the community, which is awesome, when they start posting proc sets, it's not that any one proc set is super overpowered. It's not that, the changes to Viper weren't good. They got rid of the burst. It's still effective, whatever. But now that you can combine Viper with Slodes, or you can, you have Sheer Venom in Viper, you have Vice Cannon in Viper, you have all these different combinations, and then you come out with monster sets like Zon, or long-standing ones like Scoria. Like, the easiest fix for these sorts of things are to have universal cooldowns. And so you have, when one proc set goes off and it's on cooldown, your other proc sets that you're wearing cannot go off. That's what the PvP community has been clamoring for with these things. And that's why I posted my Magic and Nightblade build, because I wanted to show, people aren't going, you can't just say, hey, Gina Bruno, or hey, Zos, you got to do something about these proc sets, they're OP, blah, 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 blah. You can say whatever you want, but you have to show video. You have to be able to show what these things are capable of. And that's why I posted it. And I know I got some flack for it, and I justifiably so. But where I'm going to go from that, and what I'm trying to say with this, is in no CP, proc sets are king. And so I will be running a couple of builds in no CP that will be proc sets. And I will also be running them topside initially, because I need to learn how the set works. I need to learn how the set functions. I need to learn how it works in open world PvP and the best ways to counter it. And I'm not, like I said, I'm not saying it's going to specifically be Slodes. Like, I just don't agree with oblivion damage. I'm just saying that what I initially think is strong might not be, because I might be able to figure out counters for it. And so what I'm going to say is this time if I post a build that is even remotely close to as strong as my Magic and Nightblade Proc set build, I will, if I find counters, effective counters to help you guys out, I will post those as well. And I'll talk about it, and I'll talk about the weaknesses, and I'll talk about how you can exploit those sets. And that's what I should have done when I was discussing Colurians. That's definitely something I should have done, and I didn't do it. And I will learn from that, and I will do that from now on. But this is the process that I kind of have to go in order to create builds for you guys that don't want to run cheese. Like, you have to run cheese or run against cheese in order to know how to deal with cheese. So if you guys don't like that content, that's fine, understandable. If you guys have good counters and you go, hey, I fought this guy with Slodes and I had no problem with it on my Nightblade running this, this, and this, well, let me know and I'll figure it out and, give you credit for it. So anyway, very long story. If you guys, Somerset's awesome. This one set kind of bothers me. All the like 95% of things are good, but that really small thing might be an issue because of how it works with everything else and how you can fit it on any build that you want. So that's going to be the end of this video. Let me know if you guys have any questions, comments, concerns. Let me know what you want to see from me in the future first. I'm going to be working on my Stam Nightblade first. That'll be the first build that I come out with. And then probably Magicasaurk. But after that, things are kind of open. So if you guys want me to work on something specifically, let me know. You want me to look at something, let me know. Thank you for watching, guys. I appreciate it. Have a nice day.